Sometimes games get destroyed or dumped because they're simply not selling. Yes, we're looking at you, E.T., for the Atari 2600. You game industry destroying abysmal piece of disastrous software. But sometimes there are other reasons to destroy video games. Apparently, here are 10 games that got recalled or destroyed forever. Generally, when we talk about the Batman Arkham series, we only refer to Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. But the series is actually a trilogy that was completed in 2015 with the release of Batman Arkham Knight. The console version was great, but the PC version was a mess. Warner Brothers got so many complaints about performance issues, it temporarily removed the game from store shelves, both physically and digitally. Batman Arkham Knight got patched for months, but Warner Brothers also offered everybody the opportunity to get their money back, no questions asked. Whenever we make a video about controversies, you can bet on it that the Grand Theft Auto series is somehow involved. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas got recalled when Rockstar Games got into trouble for the infamous hot coffee mod. A Dutch modder tweaked the software code for the PC version of San Andreas and unlocked a hidden adult minigame. Eventually, Rockstar patched the game, recalled older copies, and replaced them with the updated version. The hot coffee mod is still one of the biggest controversies in gaming history.
What does RAM, R-A-M, what does it stand for?
What does it stand for?
Don't trust them, they want to help you, they only want to see your boob.
When you make an FMV game about girls at spring break answering questions while revealing certain body parts, you know you're up for some controversy. The Guy game is not a good game by any means, but the US-only release became famous for the controversy it caused when one of the girls turned out to be underage. She was only 17 years old when she was filmed. A lawsuit was filed 4 months after the release of the game because the girl did not know that her footage would be used. The game was removed from stores. A copy of the Guy game now sells on eBay for over $60, in case you're curious.
What do you look for in a man?
Tall, dark, handsome with abs.
Tall, dark, handsome with abs. Any other qualities?
Long.
Hey, I'm talking to you, damn it!
Too Human was supposed to be the first game in a trilogy, but along the way, things got messy. Silicon Knights and Epic Games got into lots of trouble over contracts and the use of the Unreal Engine. Eventually, Silicon Knights lost the case. The company had to destroy all remaining copies of Too Human, and it may never be printed again. Before these court cases reached a conclusion, only 700,000 copies of the Xbox 360 exclusive had been sold. And with an average rating of 6.5 out of 10, the game is not considered very good. This makes Too Human hardly a collectible nowadays, as it sells for just a few bucks both online and your local game shop.
Who are you?
Wait, I'm on your side.
That's so.
Dude, I swear.
Too Human wasn't the only game that fell victim to the lawsuit between Epic Games and Silicon Knights. Silicon Knights had been working on XMen Destiny as well. 3 years after its release, XMen Destiny was recalled from physical and digital stores. All games that weren't sold yet were destroyed, never to be made available again. That isn't even the only reason that XMen Destiny got pulled from digital stores. Activision's license for the Marvel franchise ended on January 1st, 2014. This meant they had to remove games like Spider-Man and Deadpool as well.
No way.
Older Disney games are often considered to be pretty good platform adventure games, but Sega's take on Fantasia for the Mega Drive and Genesis was not a big success at all. Soon after its release, all parties involved regretted publishing the game. Fantasia was of a very poor quality because Sega rushed it for a release during the holiday period. As a result, it became one of the worst Mega Drive/Genesis games of all time. On top of this, Roy E. Disney had promised his uncle Walt there would be no Fantasia adaptations. The license was granted by mistake and Disney revoked it. As a result, over 5,000 copies of the game were destroyed and all game advertising had to be removed. When Bandai released the Family Fun Fitness Mat accessory and the Stadium Events game for Nintendo's first console in 1986, it was quickly acquired and rebranded by Nintendo. As a result, only a couple of hundred copies were sold in the US, while thousands were recalled by Nintendo and supposedly destroyed. The mat became the Nintendo Power Pad. While Stadium Events became world-class track meet. With so few copies of Stadium Events sold, it's no surprise that a boxed copy of the game is nowadays one of the highest valued games of all time. LittleBigPlanet meant a great deal to Sony when it launched on the PlayStation 3 back in 2008. Shortly before the intended launch, it was discovered that the game included a song that quoted the Quran, which is the Islamic holy book. Even though Sony never received any complaints, they decided to remove the song. Digital copies of the game got a day one patch, while physical copies were recalled by Sony and replaced with an updated one. So eventually, no copy of LittleBigPlanet could ever play the song. Licensing was a mess in the late 80s, especially when an idea came from the communist-driven Soviet Union. Many companies were making games based on Tetris, but Nintendo and Atari both did this for Nintendo's own NES console. A legal battle between the two companies followed, and Nintendo won. Yet, Atari still managed to sell over 100,000 copies of the game. Critics also deemed the Atari version to be superior over Nintendo's take on the puzzle game. Nowadays, a boxed version of the Atari version of Tetris sells for over $200 on eBay.
Hurry up, Briggsy. Shake a leg. Get a move on.
Limbo of the Lost is one of the weirder entries in this list. As it turned out, almost every aspect of this game was plagiarized. The graphics, dialogue, and even complete levels. They copied scenes from movies like Spawn, Beetlejuice, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Level designs from Thief, Deadly Shadows were copied, while assets were stolen from games like World of Warcraft and Oblivion.
I think he should be the King of Limbo.
Yeah, he had to fit enough scenes, but at least he kept his leggy limbs. I think that we should be crowning him the King of Limbo.
It didn't take long before the media found out, and everybody involved responded surprised. People resigned from Majestic Studios, and 3 months after launch, the game was pulled from stores.
We've all had fun, you must agree. Even though interactively, but now we feel that Brick should be the King of Limbo. A do-ups, a doobie-doo-ups.
Which story do you think is the most bizarre? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Just look up Zooming Games on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
None of it was real.
Shut up, you coward. What you did was real enough. The damage you've caused, The people you've killed.